Sadiq doesn't care. Every single person I meet in the streets, and I kid you not, every single person, before I can even introduce myself, they say, "Oh, get this guy out of office. You can't be any worse than this guy." I have the best policies than any candidate out there. I am on the ground in the boroughs fighting against being arrested because I believe in the democratic policy and I believe in your right to choose free and fair elections, and I'm willing to be held accountable. Right now, I'm doing it live with your questions coming to me. This is politics like you've never seen it done before, because we are going to do politics in a new way. This is a completely different way of being held accountable via digital media, and that's why I'm out here with you in the boroughs. If the current mayor of London had been on the streets of Ealing today, there would have been a riot. When the woman I met on the street today, who is running her beauty parlor on Ealing High Street in a safe manner, is being shut down, I ask why? Why can't we find solutions? Isn't that the mayor's job? Mayor Sadiq Khan, when will you debate me? When will you debate Brian Rose? I am the only potential real challenge to you for mayor, and I'm asking you, our mayor of London, when will you debate me? And I'll give you a few options. You can debate me anywhere, anytime, anyhow. Those are your three options. Let's give them a chance. Let's let the people decide.
1, 2, 3, listen.
Welcome to the Brian for Mayor Digital Battle Bus. Welcome to Battle Bus Live. I am Brian Rose, and we are live here on the Brian for Mayor Digital Battle Bus. Super excited to be with you. You can see the background behind me, and today we've been in 4 boroughs of London, incredible boroughs. We started off in Ealing and spent some time there on the streets in Ealing, gave some food to one of the incredible food banks there, St. John's. I met with my good friend Alan Simpson, who's doing great work there. Then we went on to Hillingdon. Then we went on to Hounslow. You can see and hear the planes coming overhead because we were near Heathrow Airport. And now we're making our way back through Brent and then back to, of course, our studios. Want to say thank you to everybody. This is day 11 on the Battle Bus. We have been here. It's been a challenging road. I want to share with you some of the issues we faced on Sunday with the police, and we'll talk all about that, but it's been absolutely incredible. And I just want to say thank you to all the people on the streets and all the incredible citizens of these boroughs. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Ealing. This is home of Ealing Studios. They made some incredible productions like Downton Abbey. Give a shout out for Downton Abbey, Shaun of the Dead, what a great movie. And of course, Ealing Studios, I went to film school there. This is about 15 years ago. This is before London Real. This is before I decided to run for mayor. I was still working in the city of London in banking, and I wanted to take film school. So I did a part-time film school degree at Ealing Studios, and every single Wednesday and every other Saturday, I would go out to Ealing. So I used to go to Ealing Common, and I would shoot my short films there. Little did I know, thanks to Ealing, I would go on to make 5 documentary films, all thanks to what I learned at that school. So big shout out to Ealing. Also, a lot of people on the ground in Ealing struggling with these low traffic neighborhoods. I want to talk about that today. So thank you for all your support today. I met some incredible people. Next, we went to Hillingdon, and Hillingdon is of course home to Heathrow Airport, the second largest and most busiest international airport in the world, right in this great city. Also, I used to fly helicopters, to be specific, Robinson R-22. There are these 2-seater helicopters that are the most popular training helicopter. I used to fly them out of Denham Airport, and I used to go to West Ruislip, was my local station. So Hillingdon, I'm all about where you're at. I used to spend a lot of time there every Saturday learning how to fly this helicopter, and it was an incredible time, beautiful scenery out there. We used to fly with the doors off in the summertime. It was amazing. So great to be back in Hillingdon, and thanks for having us. Then we went to Hounslow. It's actually the home of the London Museum of Water and Steam. And for an engineer like me, you know, I love things like steam engines. We were out in Crossness Pumping Station yesterday, and that's when I saw the engine that was created by James Watt. And so thank you, Hounslow. It's also the home to Twickenham Stadium. And if you're a rugby fan, then you love Twickenham. And if you're an NFL fan, you love Twickenham as well, because that's where the American football games are played is out at Twickenham Stadium. So it's amazing. And now we're coming back through Brent, which features, of course, the world-renowned Wembley Stadium. And of course, Wembley, back in 1966, is when England brought home the World Cup. What a great victory that was. And I was actually out at this beautiful statue celebrating the 1966 World Cup victory. The statue was in Barking and Dagenham. It was actually right on the edge of that in Newham when I was there on Saturday talking with people there as well. So thank you, Brent, for having us. This has been an incredible, incredible day on the Battle Bus, and it continues. We're here all this week on the Battle Bus coming to see you. Please leave me your comments below. Tell me what borough you're in and what question you have for me. But, you know, let me be honest with you. The boroughs I visited today face some real issues. And Ealing was one of them. I went there today, again, to deliver food to St. John's Church, which is an incredible charity. Alan Simpson was there, and we talked long and hard. And he said, Brian, we're struggling. A lot of people need food and food banks, which is important. But also, a lot of people saw the bus, and they wanted to come over and talk to me. And they said, Brian, we are frustrated with the low traffic neighborhoods. The mayor is up there in his top floor of his city hall glass building with his balcony, choosing these policies like low traffic neighborhoods. Meanwhile, people like Mark, who I spoke with today, Yola, and Marie on the streets are absolutely fuming. And I want to thank Mark, who came over to me. He traveled blocks and blocks when he heard that my bus was in his neighborhood. And he was literally fuming. And Mark, I understand your anger and I feel your anger. And he said, Brian, these low traffic neighborhoods, they're ruining our neighborhoods. He said, first of all, they fine the people that they shouldn't fine for driving in them. Second of all, they massively increase pollution on the areas that aren't locked down. And finally, they are ruining the businesses that need that traffic to survive. He said it's a massive mistake. They're trying to make money off the residents because of these low traffic neighborhoods. He said the current mayor of London is completely out of touch. Every single person I met today in Ealing said, get him out of office. They said, this man is out of touch with what's happening here. The LTNs are completely wrong. They're completely misguided, and they need to be rethought right away. Meanwhile, the citizens of Ealing pay every single day with taxes, with businesses lost, and by breathing more polluted air. I just want to say to the people of Ealing, I heard you today. I appreciate you for coming up to me, and we are going to look at better solutions than these LTNs as soon as I get into office on May 6th. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. And again, I saw some very frustrated individuals today that are not being listened to by their mayor. And I recognize that, and this is why getting out there in the boroughs is so important. Again, no other candidate is doing this because they just don't care. The current mayor of London, he knows you're going to vote for him. He knows because of the party he belongs to that he's going to get the next election, so he's not going to bother coming out. If the current mayor of London had been on the streets of Ealing today, there would have been a riot. Trust me, they are very angry with his decisions, and I appreciate you talking to me. Next, I went to Hounslow, and Hounslow has seen a shocking impact of the pandemic on people's jobs and livelihoods. Its reliance on Heathrow Airport for employment means the borough has been particularly badly hit. Pre-COVID, Hounslow was the second fastest growing borough economy in London. Second fastest. And yet post-COVID, it's down 11%. 11%. Its council's GDP is down because of that. This is a real issue. We've got to find a way to get London back to work, and that's my key policy as your next mayor of London. Hounslow, we understand your problems, and I am working on them. Next, let's talk about Hillingdon and Brent. And all of these boroughs are struggling with mental health, and that's why today is very important. Ben Keaveney, the chief executive of Mind in Hammersmith, Fulham, Ealing, and Hounslow, said that their staff were quote-unquote working overtime to try to support young people struggling with their mental health. He said young Londoners are facing a mental health crisis during this pandemic, with charities seeing a quote-unquote astronomical rise in requests for support, some suggesting there is a 20-fold increase in demand for mental health. 20-fold increased demand for mental health. You know it, I know it, and I want to talk about your mental health today. Just to finish, Ben finished out by saying, our staff are working overtime to deal with very complex cases, quite often of suicide ideation and sadly active suicide and self-harm. This is something no one wants to hear, and I want to talk to you today about this. The current mayor of London has failed to protect your mental health. The current mayor of London has failed to protect our younger generation's future, and the current mayor of London has failed to innovate and provide solutions to the citizens. I want to talk about that with you today. But first, I want to hear from you. First of all, tell me, what borough are you in? What is the challenge you're facing, and what question do you want to ask me? Second of all, does lockdown damage your mental health? Is it causing depression, and especially for our younger generation? And also, are these mental health issues going to affect you more in the long term? And I want you to tell me right now, are you suffering from your mental health? Please drop me a comment and tell me how. And I think it's important that we talk about these things. Next, second of all, or third of all, I want you to tell me, do you think it was right a few days ago for the police to detain us, fine us, and ban us from campaigning? And is this politically motivated? And lastly, I want you to tell me, do you think that free and fair elections should be allowed to take place on May 6th? Do you think we need new leadership, new ideas, and to take London in a new direction? First of all, I want to say we are on the digital battle bus. We are going every single day out into every single borough of London. And yet on Sunday, about a week ago, we were stopped. I was suddenly surrounded when I was walking down the street talking to my phone in a completely COVID-safe and socially distanced way. I was surrounded by 10 police officers who arrived in 5 police vans, and they said, "You are no longer allowed to campaign." They detained us, they fined me and my crew, and they banned us from campaigning. So we produced a 5-page letter from our legal team that showed exactly why we are allowed to campaign, and we are doing this in a completely COVID-secure manner. But we believe that you have a democratic right to choose, and we believe that free and fair elections should take place on May 6th, and therefore you must be able to understand your candidate. We have a digital battle bus, which is completely COVID secure. Every night it is sprayed with an antiviral fog. Everyone in the front is checked with temperature. We use hand sanitization, face masks, social distancing. So this is safe. And we believe that our detaining and fining and banning was politically motivated. We believe that certain candidates don't want us to get these ideas out there, but we believe in democracy. We believe that you have the right to choose, and if you don't understand your candidates, then you can't make a choice, and you're going to get 3 more years of the same nonsense that we're all struggling with for the past 12 months. The people of Ealing definitely don't want. They want a new mayor. They all told me that today, and that's why we're out here on the campaign trail, coming out to see every single borough in London, and that's what we're going to do. We've got 5 days left on this tour, and we're going to come to see every single borough in this city, and we're super excited. The truth is this: your current mayor has been unelected for nearly a year. Unelected. That's undemocratic in my opinion, because they postponed the elections. We want free and fair elections so you can have a leader that you can hold accountable, and that's what we're going to do right now. And now I want to talk about today's topics. First of all, the current mayor of London has failed to protect our mental health. The current mayor of London has failed to look out for our younger generation, and the current mayor of London has proven that he cannot innovate or provide new ideas for the citizens. Let's look at some of the numbers, and then I want to go to your questions and comments. First of all, we've seen increased depression, with levels doubling in depression, doubling since February pre-COVID lockdown. We've seen a 73% surge in eating disorders, and that goes even higher amongst our younger generation. We've seen an increase in anxiety, an increase in loneliness, an increase in panic, an increase in hopelessness, of which many of us experienced. And please leave me a comment right now and tell me if you felt this. I want to hear your comments. Sometimes just talking about it is really important. And we've also seen a jump in suicide rates to all-time high.